You know, was it the personal attacks on Ashley Banfield from this little special snowflake that wrote the Ansari rape story, the recounting of this horrible sexual assault rape by this woman called Grace in the Babe.net magazine for girls who don't give a fuck. Is that what it was? Ashley Banfield, you remember Ashley? I think she was on like Headline News or something, or maybe was it one of the criminal channels. I don't remember, but I remember. Hey kids, hey little Katie Ray. Ashley Banfield made problem glasses look cool before they were cool. You might want to remember that. She's a pioneer of the problem glasses. I'll try to find a picture for you, you little snowflake. 22 years old, you think you know fucking everything about the world. Got your English literature degree, do ya? Do you have a degree in journalism? Anyway, public spat between the Babe writer, Katie Way, and Headline News anchor Ashley Banfield, she's been in the trenches for, God, at least 20, 25 years. I mean, the she's been down the road reporting on stuff, and I don't know what her politics is in particular. But she always seemed kind of in the middle to me, but maybe I was just deceived by the problem glasses. You never know, because they can have that magical, hypnotizing effect on men watching the woman on TV. Banfield took aim at Way over an article. Everybody knows about the Aziz article. Come on, really? So Way, being the 22-year-old fresh out of college genius with a degree in women's studies, had something to say. Should we see what it was? Does she use proper English? I hope if she spent, 50 or 70 or 80, I'm sorry. I hope if her daddy spent $80,000 a year going to Harvard that she'd be able to spell correctly, but let's find out. The crux of this disagreement between Banfield and Way, the originator of the problem glasses, if I might add it. There was a time when the problem glasses looked pretty freaking hot. You know what I mean? Back in the cheap sunglasses days with Madonna, it was like, yeah, it's, yes. This is Seeking Susan. What was that movie? Desperately Seeking Susan with the cheap sunglasses. And of course, that was also a ZZ Top song, but let's not go down, because they're bearded misogynists, so we can't hear those. They talked about legs and shit and sleeping bags, and no. We can't do that. Anyway, our 22-year-old snowflake, she wrote that this girl, Grace, called it the worst night of her life. Banfield simply called a bad date. Of course it was a bad date. And shamed the reporter for publishing a story which, in her mind, undermined the efforts of women who were truly sexually harassed or assaulted. Gosh, whoever said that? Was that? Yes, that was the hamster who said those very words on a couple of videos ago. You might want to look it up because I'm just so good at this. So after Headline News asked Way to appear on the network to discuss her views or disagreement, have a civil discussion, have a conversation. As the feminists like that, well, we need to have a conversation. Did she show up? Oh, no. Way summarily responded in the negative. And Babe editrix Amanda Ross sent Business Insider the full text of that response. In it, Way called Banfield someone I'm certain no one under the age of 45 has ever heard of. And she said, notice the shaming tactics. It's only men that do that, because we shame women, not women. Women are just kumbaya, always, because they have the vag. She said she hopes the 500 retweets on the single news write-up made that burgundy lipstick bad highlights second wave feminist has been feel really relevant for a little while. End of quote. Oh my God. Oh my God, the fucking sharp knives are out now. Yes, this just isn't knives. This is like fillet knives. It's whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Death of 1,000 feminist cuts. She writes, I will remember this for the rest of my career, which will probably be short at babe.com or net or whatever it is, because it's not even a real job. You probably don't even get paid, but it don't matter. You're a trust fund baby, aren't you? I mean, if you're going to sling ad hominem, why can't I? It's only fair. Oh, wait, I'm white. Let's see, I'm a man. Yeah, that's probably, that's bad. It's really bad. Here's the full text of this little snowflakes email. See what you think. It's an unequivocal no from me. The way your colleague Ashley, someone I'm certain no one under the age of 45 has ever heard of, by the way, ripped into my source directly was one of the lowest, most despicable things I've ever seen in my entire life. You're 22. Trust me. It gets a lot worse. This is nothing. Shame on her, she writes. Shame on HLN, Headline News Network, or what is that what it's called? I only watched the Forensic Files. I'm sorry, Ashley. I haven't seen your show. Just apologize. Ashley could have talked to me. Well, she tried, but you didn't show up. She could have talked to my editor or my publication, but instead she targeted a 23-year-old woman in one of the most vulnerable moments of her life. Someone she's never fucking met before for a little attention. Really. You know, it's not just Ashley Banfield, Ms. Ray, that's coming out and saying this story is a big pile of bullshit. If not completely false, it certainly was not sexual assault. It was a fumbling, kind of creepy sexual encounter. And if it was assault, why didn't your little snowflake call the fucking police? Because it's the, you know. She writes, I hope the ratings were worth it. I hope the 500 retweets on the single news write-up made that burgundy lipstick bad highlights second wave feminist has been feel really relevant for a little while. She disgusts me. And I hope when she has more distance from the moment, she has enough of a conscience left to feel remotely ashamed. Shame, 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 shame. Do. Doubt it, but still. Must be nice to piggyback off of the fact that another woman was brave enough to speak up and add another dimension to the societal conversation about sexual assault. No one is denying women who have been sexually assaulted should come out and say their piece and get their stories out there so we can solve this problem. Ms. Ray, there are very few people who think Grace was sexually assaulted. Especially after she gave the dude 2 blowjobs. Now, 2 blowjobs and cum in her face and her hair, probably up her nose. That's not saying that gives him permission to then have sex with her. But he didn't. When she said stop, he did. Let's just not go down that road. Because that would be too much facts and reality for you. You know, you wrote the fucking story. You ought to know how it worked out, huh? Grace wouldn't know how that feels, she continues, because she struck out into this alone. Because she's the bravest person I've ever met. You're 22, you'll meet more brave people. Go to any Memorial Day service or Veterans Day service or parade. You'll find a lot more brave people than this little confused snowflake. I would never go on your network. Of course not, because you'd have to defend your point of view with facts, data, and an argument, and you don't have any of those. Oh, is that mean? I'm so terribly sorry. I would never even watch your network. Okay, good, it's your choice. No woman my age would ever watch your network. I will remember this for the rest of my career. I'm 22 and so far not too shabby. Do you have the purple hair and the nose, face jewelry, and tattoos everywhere? Are you a feminist, you little 22-year-old brainwashed snowflake fresh out of college? She continues, and I will laugh the day you fold. If you could let Ashley know I said this and that she is no holds barred, the reason, it'd be a real treat for me. Thanks, Katie Way. Well, you can almost feel the wisdom flowing out of her fingertips as she writes this email. You won't talk to me, Ashley Banfield, but I invited you on the show. I just can't. It's unfair. I'd be triggered. A lot of people have a lot of stuff to say about this Aziz thing. I'm coming down on it was a bad experience. This guy was far too aggressive, in my opinion. But when she said no, he stopped. So perhaps if she would have said no a few more times before it got a little hot and heavy, it would have been a much better experience. James Maxwell, thanks for listening.